going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to cover how to get your first or next agency client in 14 days with Upwork, even if you have $0, no website, and no existing case studies or experience. So let's get straight into it. From days 1 to 3, I'd place an extra emphasis on your Upwork profile. Now, you need to start looking at Upwork as a funnel, just like anything else in marketing. There's a top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then a bottom of funnel. Your top of funnel in this case is going to be your profile, it's going to serve as your landing page. So make sure you have a good profile picture. A professional headshot is the way to go about it. Unfortunately, Upwork isn't like social media in the sense where things are a bit more laid back. People are looking for professionalism and quality on Upwork. So your profile picture needs to reflect that. Next up is you're going to need an optimized profile description and a video introduction, and I'm going to show you how to do this right now. Now, I've made videos about a couple of these points in the past. I'll probably link them somewhere up here for you to go and watch them. But first off, we're going to start off with the profile description. You need to be using the HWRW format that I've coined and that I've used for myself and my clients for well over a year now since starting this agency. So to write your profile description, you need to use this format and focus on SEO optimization. HWRW format, the H in the HWRW format stands for how. So how are you going to get your client results? Next up is the W. What can they expect? Next up, R stands for results. What kind of results can they expect? What does this typically look like for a client when everything is done perfectly for them and implemented for them? Last W stands for what should they do next? And in other words, it's a CTA. So how are they able to get into contact with you next? The reason this format works as well as it does is because it's to the point and it contains SEO keywords conducive to the growth of your general brand on Upwork. Let's say, for example, your service is SEO. When you implement all steps of the HWRW format, you will be including your competency within this entire profile description, as well as your title and specialized profile, of course. So use this format if you want the best possible results for inbound and outbound on Upwork. Next up is how to film an Upwork video introduction. Now, practically the best method that you can use to film a video introduction is in the VSL format, otherwise called video sales letter format. Now, this format is not really conducive to beginners. It's more geared towards those who already have some form of a track record or experience in running an agency. So the alternative would be to just film a talking head video where you're explaining stuff like who you are, what type of results have you gotten for clients, why someone should work with you, what makes you different from a competitor is what I'm saying. And lastly is the CTA. Once again, how can they get into contact with you? What should they do next? It's a very simple format, but you have to understand that 90% of your competition has nothing. They don't have a talking head video, they don't have a VSL, they don't even have a client testimonial. So you'd already be putting yourself ahead of 90% of individual applicants by having a video introduction, which is why it's so imperative it's on your profile. It doesn't matter whether your English isn't your first language, and it doesn't matter whether you get nervous or whatever on camera. Authenticity is what people value. Go for that. Point number 3 here, something that people overlook in their profile optimization is the specialized profiles. Upwork grants you 2 slots for a specialized profile from a pre-designed list that they give you. If you do SEO, you're going to want your specialized profile to be SEO strategy and digital marketing. These 2 specialized profiles are what Upwork determines to rank you as when someone searches for you. So if someone searches SEO expert, it's because you're being categorized as an SEO expert in your specialized profile that you're able to come up on the list in the first place, which is very important. You guys need to take special advantage of these 2 specialized profiles. You're leaving money on the table if you don't. So now that our profile is finished, we're moving on to days 3 to 7. So the profile set up. Now we need to talk about how best you'd be able to identify prospects on Upwork. And with this exact framework I'm about to give you, I've signed a $1 billion client. So listen up. And later on, I'll also show you exactly how to write proposals that will help you do the same. Every single step in this journey are intertwined with each other. One doesn't work without the other. So let's go over how to know whale clients from the less desirable ones. Let's say you're a Google ad ads agency and you're looking for a client to work with on Upwork. Typically, what I've found is that you can measure the quality of a job in basically 3 steps. One, it's the location. So we don't want to go for any job that's located outside of the first world countries. So if the job isn't located in the US, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and parts of Western Europe, chances are you don't want to be applying to that job. And I say this myself as someone who comes from the third world, but jobs from the first world are more likely to pay you at premium prices, which is something you can understand. They have more spending power than someone from the second or third world. Therefore, they're who we want to be targeting. We want to target people with money. Secondly, when you're looking at the budget, people are disillusioned into thinking that the budget on the job is the end all be all. The client isn't willing to pay anything more or anything less, which is just not true. I've had clients that put on the job budget $15 per hour, but they're ending up paying me 2 to 2.5k a month. So you find that the budget isn't really a large determining factor, but what I like to do when I'm looking at it is if it's less than $15 an hour or if it's less than $300 fixed budget, then chances are I won't apply to that job. But if it's at that point or anything above, then what you'll find is that these prospects are open to negotiation, and it's probably because they have no idea what the job is actually supposed to cost them. So therefore they go with, what they assume. This isn't an alarm. This isn't a red flag. This is where you take the time and opportunity to educate the client, tell them how much work goes into it and what you typically charge. And then it's a matter of, can they afford it? Yes. Can they not afford it? No. Move on. So the third and last metric that I like to track whenever I'm applying to jobs is the job description and how detailed it is. Now, you need to pay special attention to these types of jobs depending on how detailed they are, because it changes depending on whether you're a freelancer or you're an agency owner. As an agency owner, jobs that have incredibly detailed job descriptions tend to be more like jobs, like 9-to-5 type jobs. They want somebody to come into their agency and carry these tasks out full time, which is not something that's ideal for us as an agency owner. We want to be able to sign this client and then scale, so we're able to sign more. If all our time is going into this one client, then chances are we won't have this time to scale vertically, right? So we want to avoid those types of jobs. If they explicitly say that they're looking for someone to do this full time, then I would leave it alone as an agency owner. So keep this in mind next time when you're applying to these highly detailed job descriptions. So now from days 7 to 14, theory is now finished. So we're going to jump into action. I'm going to share my exact proposal writing framework that will guarantee you get responses and booked calls from Upwork. Personalization is the name of the game. Everyone is doing some copy-paste template, and all the prospects can see right through this. The best way to go about getting their attention is to make it relevant to them and to prove to them that you have read everything that they've said in the job description and you've gone above and beyond that as well. Best way to do this in personalization is either using the job description, so exactly what they give you. If you're, for example, an e-commerce email marketing agency and the prospect gives you the link to their store in the job description, it is your duty to go, and this is if you want money, of course. It's your duty to go onto that website, sign up to their email list, get their welcome flows, and see what exactly it is that they're doing and how they can improve upon it, then put that into your proposal. These are the types of things that will actually get you results on Upwork. I'm not going to tell you that it's the typical copy paste this X amount of times and then you'll get it. No, it has to be quality. The quality of work is what matters. So you go above and beyond. If it's a video editing job and they provide you with raw footage, you go out there, cut that video up into, depending on what they're asking you for, you cut these up into shorts, you edit them in your own style, and you even edit the long form video. It depends on what they ask for, but you have to go above and beyond to get these jobs, or else it will never happen. Everybody's doing the same thing, and in a country of the blind, the one-eyed king remains at the top. You have to understand, you have to be different in these ways. It's gonna take a bit of extra work, but it's not something that you can't do if you want it badly enough. And that's not to say that you don't just follow these things and it just happens to you. No, you have to be consistent with it. It took me over 300 proposals of doing exactly what I'm telling you now for me to get my first job and kickstart my journey. Now I'm here talking to you about it. So remember, as soon as you're finished personalizing that first line, so you can go with the job description, you can choose the location. If you see their specific location, I'm not talking about United States. If it says like Phoenix, Arizona, for example, write a personalized first line about it. Another thing that you can personalize are the comments left by other freelancers in the past. Show them that you've gone out of your way to do some form of research. Talk about something that's relevant to them. That's how you personalize something. The rest of the structure of your cover letter goes into putting your social proof. I like to use a Google Drive link and just put all of my social proof into it, and then implore the prospect to look at this link, go through all of the work I've done, and for them to make their own decision. And then I end it with a CTA. So is this worth exploring? Can I send over more information on this? When can we get started? Etc. This entire structure is all I use for myself and my clients in my agency. That's all. Don't overcomplicate it, guys. It's just a matter of staying consistent. If you stick to exactly what I've said, I guarantee you'll get clients. It won't take you a ton of proposals. It will just take you well-tailored proposals. All right, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or DM me on Twitter. If you want me to do everything I said in the video for you and book you clients for your agency, then book a call with me. See you next time. Peace.